Hello, we are here at Dark Tower Games. We're going to be bringing you our Legacy event. It is Thursday, 7 o'clock. We're going to go straight into round two. My name is Glenn, and this is Tyler Gardner, and we will be bringing you our Legacy event, round two. If you don't end up seeing all the games, we will be archiving them at youtube.com/Dark Tower Games. You can also check out our previous weeks. This is about our third week, so we're still working out the kinks. If you have any input, I guess, is that the word?
Yeah.
Criticisms, those kind of things, just go ahead and post them on our Twitch page or on our YouTube, and we will try to make this better. So
Yeah.
we're going to go straight into the game, though, because it looks like they're... on the left side, it looks like we got Doff Visser with 4-color Delver and Tom Jacobson with Death and Taxes.
So on the right, it looks like we have a pretty good start here from Tom. It looks like a Thalia is in play. Fairly strong card against the 4-color Delver deck because they do have a lot of instant sorceries.
Yeah, against a deck that's trying to like really tempo you out of the game, play Delver, Wasteland, Abrupt Decay, especially the 4-color version where like all their removal is like 2 mana.
Yeah.
Thalia is definitely good.
And it looks like Tom started on Plains. So
yeah, that Wasteland's not gonna do much yet.
Oh, and a port here. That is what you want to see out of his deck. Swords on the death right. We'll make it so. Swords cost 2, so we get the death right out of here. Might have been a little bit of a miss sight there, because usually your deck doesn't really care about having to pay the extra one.
Right. I think the only like actual spells in his deck are the vials and the Swords of Plowshares, because usually like stone forging out the equipment. So
yeah, and it looks like Doff knows that Rashad Port is going to take care of his mana for the rest of the game if he doesn't get rid of it, so he wastes that off. And we see a 2-mana Ponder coming out of Doff.
So yeah, that's kind of a really slow start from Doff, and mostly due to the Thalia. Like if he was able to play Ponder into a dude, he would be fine. But Thalia really kind of putting a damper on the first couple turns of this game.
And he looks like he's color locked here. He only has the 1 blue-black land, so if Tom has access to a Wasteland during his turn, he's going to be miles ahead, especially if we see a shuffle off this Ponder.
Right. Or even if we just see another Rashad Import tapping down the blue in his upkeep.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he can Wasteland the Rashad Import, but then he's stuck off colors for the turn.
Looks like we're on top and a draw, so he's stuck with those cards for the time being. And Gitaxian Probe can't cast. Tom knows, says, get that out of here. We just got yelled at about my pad. So see a draw here from Tom. Can't imagine we don't see the Thalia crashing in. Aggressively pointing at Doff, saying it will do damage to you this turn. I can only imagine. Something. And there we see it. We see a Wasteland on the blue source. So that is putting Tom miles ahead. And if we see just like a 2/2 for 2 here, that is exactly, oh wow, only a Squire. That can't be that good. And he remembers his Stoneforge trigger. One of the key plays of Legacy is not just casting Squire, remembering to get an equipment with it.
Definitely don't want to just have a 1/2 for 2. Not where you want to be. But 1/2 for 2 that puts in a 4/4 lifelinker.
It's good times.
Pretty good.
So what you'd want to see from Doff here is he has a lot of lightning bolts, so you'd want to see a lightning bolt from him. But 4-color mana base is a little bit greedy, and so he's got the Trop over there, so no bolt, and that Stoneforge is probably going to run rampant this game.
Yeah, definitely the deck that the 4-color Delver deck doesn't want to play against. The one running 4 Wastelands, 4 ports.
Yeah, and Aether Vials to get underneath them.
Yeah, to get under the counter spells. So this could be probably one of Doff's worst matchups.
For sure. And there's another non-colored source. Paying 2 life and the Wasteland to Gitaxian Probe. I would have liked to see that off the first Wasteland in case he would have drawn, say, a fetch, so that he could get, if he had Lightning Bolt or something of that nature. Oh, something's going on. Pointing at the Wasteland. Maybe he just noticed that too.
Yeah, probably realizing that he probably should have waited. Then we see a Batterskull put out here from Tom, I'm guessing.
Maybe Jite. I don't know what he searched up.
No, he did search up Batterskull. That's for sure. We see a stifle on the
Stifle on the
activation.
Stoneforge trigger. Okay. And that's not the place Doff wants to be with his stifles. Spending
Yeah.
his whole turn to counter that one play.
And Tom actually does have the Jite here in hand, so next turn he actually will be able to activate his Stoneforge, put it in, and equip to his Thalia to get the damage in.
And once you have a couple counters on the GT versus Doff's deck, he's going to be in a terrible spot. I think he runs maybe a couple true names.
I think I've seen 2 true names in his deck, but still not exactly a good place to be.
And good guy Tom decides
Good guy
to
Tom.
leave his hand face up because his opponent knows about it.
He decides instead to port down the lands,
like
kind of
that
keep him
line.
off mana. And then he'll have Batter Skull next turn. Because he could always do it next turn if he has another land to play, if Doff doesn't Wasteland.
And I like that because that pinholes Doff into having to Wasteland the Rashawn Port this turn. And when you're the guy who's bottlenecked on mana, you're not the person that wants to Wasteland, but you have to Wasteland. That's too bad. You know, we're gonna need to see like a fetch out of Doff this turn, or he's in big trouble. If he's not already in trouble.
And red's definitely like, I think the deck is base blue-black, and then it plays the red as like a splash. So I don't think, yeah, okay, he did have the Volcanic Island though. That's not too bad.
And there's the young Pyromancer. So that can give him time, you know.
And he definitely has time until now because he has Jite.
Until now, because Jite.
Yeah, and the thing is that the young Pyromancer doesn't actually trade with the Thalia either because that first strike. So, bad beats for the 4-color deck.
Yeah, I wonder if he's going to... Well, he seems to be double dazing. No, just picking up all his cards. Dang.
Can't actually cast Daze.
Can't actually cast Daze there either. Well, we'll be going to Game 2 here shortly. It's very much better for Doff post board.
Yeah, I don't think it does. He might have some amount of Golgari charms. Give Tom's creatures -1/-1, kind of get rid of the troublesome creatures like Mother of Runes and Thalia, and you know, Revoker's not too good against him, but I mean, it could get rid of Revoker if it's just a body on the field. So that might be pretty good. But it also is pretty good against his own deck. That's kind of awkward, right? Because he has True Name Nemesis, Young Pyromancer, and Young P tokens, and Unflipped Delvers. So, like, yeah, that could be awkward. I have seen it in 4-color deck lists, but don't know if it's coming in here. What else can we see, probably?
I would say... I don't know.
Maybe more efficient removal.
More efficient removal.
Some ways to get rid of Ether Vial so his counter spells are still alive.
I mean, he seems like a real dog, and like I didn't look at his board too much before this, but I
can't imagine. There's not a lot that's coming in.
Maybe if he has what is the card called? It's the Pyroclasm for non-flyers.
The Rough and Tumble.
Rough and Tumble. If he has Rough Tumble, that'd be a good card.
That would be a very good.
Because if he can go Delver into flip off Rough Tumble, and then like Rough or Tumble, I don't know what happens. But like the Pyroclasm Pyroclasm away, Tom's board, that's ideally what you want to be looking for.
Definitely.
And just, especially if Tom sees it game 2, then he has to keep that in his mind, like, oh, you know, what if he has Rough Tumble, and then like you kind of have to play more conservatively for game 3. But I don't know if Doff has Rough Tumble in his deck. So.
I definitely think the newer versions of Death and Taxes can survive a Rough Tumble a bit easier, though. They do have like 3 to 4 Sarah Avengers, so there's like ways to get around it, but definitely Rough Tumble is a great spell against Tom.
Yeah.
And I think for Tom, I mean, a lot of it's probably just more removal, Ratchet Bombs, something of the sort to get rid of True Name Nemesis.
Yeah.
There's not a ton there, but probably enough to just kind of give him that a little bit more edge.
Yeah. Do you know if he runs his Mind Sensors Mater side?
I've seen Mind Sensors. He kind of switches between having them and not having them, depending on if he's expecting a lot of elves. In our local meta, I think he plays 1.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate Mind Sensor here either if you have an extra in the board, because even though, you know, it's going to be slipping, it's going to be a lot, it's 3 mana, but if you have your Vial in play, it's uncounterable. It's really good because it can trade with a Delver if one of them gets flipped and you don't have answer to Jite. Just that surprise blocker, because if he's tapped down. And then also the fact that like he is running that 4-color deck, and sure you saw him naturally draw, I think 2 basics or 3 basics the last game.
Yeah.
You're most likely
colored sources. Not
I'm
basics.
sorry, not basics. Color sources. you're most likely going to see him having to fetch for those. So if you already have him on the land, taxed with your Thalia, taxed with the Rashad and Port, then going more in that direction, I really like in the matchup.
It's kind of funny to see. I mean, just a deck like that survive in Legacy for so
Mhm.
long. Like Death and Taxes has been around for like as long as I've been playing Magic, and it hasn't always been like super prevalent. But like to have a mono white deck and its best matchup be combo, it just like in my mind just not make sense. But definitely. And this even mine since you brought that up, I think that's kind of like a funny card in the matchup because it's not very good. Like you kind of want it against like the Elves decks. That's like the main reason they play them is because the Elves decks where they can't natural order a green Sun Zenith reliably, and it's good there. But then just to have it in as a blocker for Delver is kind of like it sucks to like keep in a card like that just to block Delver, but you need it.
Yeah,
you actually need it.
I like, and if I'm Death and Taxes, I'm under the assumption my opponent has Rough Tumble too, which makes it a better card because it has flying, so it lives.
Definitely.
But maybe we'll be back in the game most likely.
Yeah, so let's check out the game. Still shuffling up, but looking like we're getting ready.
And we see an Ancient Grudge at the bottom of Doff's deck. So that is, I think, a really solid card to bring in. I think Tom has something along the lines of like 12 or 13 artifacts in his deck with
I think
Revokers and...
Revokers. I didn't even think about that. So yeah, he has the Ether Vials, 2 of his equipment, maybe a 3rd one after board, and then his Revokers. I'm assuming he probably sided out some number of Revokers, so they don't seem very good here.
Revoker can tag Deathrite Shaman.
It can tag Deathrite Shaman, and it actually does shut off the mana ability, quote unquote.
Yeah.
But still, I don't know. I don't know if I'd keep it in.
I don't know. It depends on what Tom has, but I do like the Ancient Grudge from Doff.
Yeah, Ancient Grudge is definitely good. It's definitely like the best part of Tom's deck is the artifacts, so it's good to have a removal spell that's going to remove it and then something else after it. I think a Fire Knight's probably coming in.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
forgot about that card. Being able to swing through True Name is important for the ground deck.
Fetch here. Hopefully, for Doff. We're showing the hand. Wow. We saw Rest in Peace.
I did see Rest in Peace. That's a good card.
It's a little awkward if he goes like turn to the Shaman or the 2/1. Pyromancer, and then like double Gitaxian Probe. It's like, but turn 1 Delver here. That's what you want to see out of Doff's deck.
Yeah, I don't know about the Rest in Peace actually. I don't think Doff actually runs Termaglyphs, so it could end up just being
a dead card.
I mean, a card to shut off Deathrite, but I mean, not the scariest card. So
maybe it was like him showing it was a sick accident. He's like, "Whoops, didn't mean to. This is how this get in here."
So we see his Swords of Plowshares on the Delver there.
Good guy Tom saying, "You know what? You weren't at 20. Let's put you back to 20." I felt bad for you. Took all that damage.
And we do see a young Pyromancer, so that Rest in Peace could just be awkward.
But good guy Tom obviously has a second path. I feel it. I got the reads. Oh, only Wasteland.
Wasteland on the blue source. Definitely good.
Oh my goodness.
And then he can't daze if he decides to Swords of Plowshares again. Oh, but we don't see swords. And since a lot of Doff's removal is 2 mana, as I said before, it might be hard for him to get rid of this Mother of Runes on this turn. We see a Jit Probe come down.
Yeah.
Doff is going to pay 2 life for that Jit Probe.
Look at him go.
Despite Tom's best efforts, Doff is losing life.
Oh goodness, we have the sideboard card answer to that little fella.
Oh, so we do see a lot of Tom's better cards in the matchup, though. I mean, Sarah Avenger and Ratchet Bomb, both very good.
Yeah. 3/3, real big.
3/3 actually probably races the young Pyromancer.
Yep. Especially since you have the Mom on D. And look, good guy Tom, again, just giving Doff a way to write down his hand. My goodness. Can Tom be my opponent in every round?
Young burger for you.
Thanks, bud.
Yeah.
Wow. The owners here bring Fiamma Burger. It's so nice. Dark Tower Games. My goodness.
Much wow. Such wow.
Much wow.
So if you guys are just tuning in, we are in round 2 of our tournament. We have Doff over here, 4-color Delver. He's down a game.
Oh, I would snap block that.
But we have you would snap block the young Pyromancer?
Snap block that.
Really, trade a young Pyromancer for a Mother of Runes.
My goodness, you know his deck is, I don't know. I would snap block it.
Especially if he didn't play a land.
Like
Of course he could have played land second main phase, but like not playing a land there, kind of telegraphing that he might not have another land. Like
I think Doff
he
just
might be considering it.
I think Doff just put the sick like you're not gonna block this. Yeah, block.
Oh, hot.
Oh, hot damn. And
so Tom takes a trade there. Really sweet.
And now you see you can't waste a plains, silly Doff. That card's not that good.
You can, however, wasteland your own wasteland. Surprisingly enough,
it's a thing. And then what are we gonna see?
See, rest in peace.
Rest
come
in
down.
pepperonis. Tom says, "Get these graveyards out of here." Yeah, I really like that trade. And you see Doff now; he's just on one land and a 1/1, and his land can't cast him any spells. So we're in awkward city.
We were definitely in awkward city. Especially like Tom's next threat is going to be Saravenger, which will block like any just block token
The brick
and
wall is
also
here.
deal 3. I'm just gonna vigilance kill you, and then I'm also gonna like negate all your counter spells here by this Ether Vial.
Yeah, I'm really happy for Tom there that he decided to block that because Doff's deck, from what I've seen of it, is set to run off of that, the 2/1.
Definitely,
So
yes.
him giving him the option to take it off the board, I think was very lucky for Tom. But I do like Doff having the moxie to be like, you know what, you're not gonna block this.
Yeah,
Deal
no,
with this.
I don't think it's necessarily a bad play from Doff if he's expecting Tom to block, but I mean, set him back infinitely far.
We got the head on the hand, it looks like, from Doff. We can't see it, but the elbow's the dead giveaway.
Probably not enjoying the fact that he's been stuck on wasteland hands this whole game against a deck that runs 10 basic planes.
And then I think we see Flicker Wisp on token. That'll come back, right? And I think we missed an attack there for 3, but the big old vigilant.
We did. I think we actually might have missed 2.
I think we're real dead. He's showing him the hand.
Yeah, that is just game right there.
Let me cast all these spells for free, please.
Wow.
The mana base knocked them together again.
So we kind of saw both games. Doff kind of just gets stuck on lands. Timely wasteland from Tom both games where he was able to cut off his colored source, and then Doff's just stuck on wasteland. And of course, the first game was probably a little better because he had Thalia in play. But yeah. I mean, either way, Doff didn't top deck his lands second game there at all.
Yeah. I mean, from the spot that Doff was in, I would have liked to hold back, with that turn for the young Pyromancer. But even if he had held it back, he didn't draw those colored sources he needed.
Right.
So you would have just seen young Pyromancer sitting there with 1/1 in play for 4 turns. So.
And then Tom would have still, of course, had the Mother of Runes, so all his removal would have been dead. I think in that situation, even on one land, I think that if that one land was a blue source, I don't think that Doff can race Tom's hand in the sequence that he got it. Saravenger actually just easily races a young Pyromancer because he can block.
And he had a Ratchet
with
Bomb
active Mother of Runes. Yeah, with Ratchet. I mean,
so even if Doff goes nuts, then, and I think that might be the line that he decided to attack with Mother of Runes because I see a Ratchet Bomb, I'm not going to be able to go nuts with this game.
Yeah.
But I kind of like the line of make 3 1/1s over the course of the game and then make him deal with the 3 1/1s.
And then still have a young Pyromancer, you can build him up again.
Yeah, but didn't matter there because he didn't see him draw lands. Unfortunate break. Maybe we could get another person on the coverage.
Yeah, so we will be back, hopefully bringing you another game. But for right now, we're going to go away, and we'll probably be back in 5 minutes, try to get another game under our screen. So.
Yeah.